Here we go. And we're live. How's everyone doing tonight? Welcome to the show. We're talking about scams because, there's a lot of them out there. It's ridiculous some of the ones that we've seen. And recently, too, I got a mail letter scam, which who uses, mail? Not email, mail. It was so shocking. Mongrel's left the chat. He's gone.
Left.
Checking on his moose mail.
His moose mail. He's gonna stop coming here if we keep making fun of meese. Is it meese or mice?
Mooses?
Or multiple moose.
Moose. It's moose.
Just moose.
I feel like
Both.
I feel like we've had this conversation and we did it wrong.
Could be.
Hey, Mongrels. Hey, Mongrels. I got your comment now. I figured out what that.
Oh, did you?
Pontiac.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I got that now.
You figured it out now?
Yeah,
I'm calling scam. There's no way that little box started that Pontiac. Come on. What type
Oh,
of
it did, yeah.
do?
He doesn't believe it,
works.
huh?
No, I don't believe it. No.
All right, we got Piston Tiston in the house. Appreciate you being here, brother. This should be an interesting one because I know that there's some good scams out there that we've heard and been associated with.
Been associated with? I mean, I'm not a professional scammer by any means.
I had a guy
Somebody was
that
willing to pay
ordered.
me.
I had a guy back in the day who ordered from eBay it was some electronic, and dude sent him a brochure of the electronic, and it said right in the scam, if you read the fine print, that you were getting this brochure for I think it was like a head unit or something stupid like that, for a stereo or something like that. And sure stuff, he's right in it. No refunds.
Yeah,
and you're getting this.
I've seen that. I've seen
And
that
you
where they
can't-
show you a box of light bulbs and they send you one light bulb. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And if you read the description, it says one light bulb somewhere obscure on the listing. That's the thing. So if that I kind of get, because you're getting people to make a mistake and order your thing, or just be careless and order your thing,
And
which I guess
you're standing on somewhat legal ground at that point too.
yeah.
Because I had a good friend of mine actually
Yeah, so
order
right
a
in the description.
$420 electric scooter and get a raincoat.
Wow.
That's not even
Those are completely similar.
Nope. And not even like a good
Oh.
raincoat, folded into a square this big, and you had to
I know a guy.
unfold it and raincoat.
Rich, how's it
poncho.
going, brother? Was it like one for the sports games, like the shitty ones that you put on?
Yes.
It's basically a garbage bag with a couple holes cut
Yes,
in
it
it.
was a rain
Yeah.
poncho.
Nice.
And then once he actually looked up the scooter because he thought it was amazing, he found out that the scooter was actually all the information and video for the scooter was stolen
What's up,
from
brother?
a Kickstarter account. So the scooter didn't even exist.
Oh wow!
Yikes.
And this was on Amazon.
Yes. And he got PayPal to pay him back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a whole lot
So
of
Amazon, I know Amazon does obviously vet and has made that harder, but apparently you only need to do is start a business, like an LLC, and have a page, and you can basically just keep doing that over and over
Yeah.
again.
And if you go to your foreign ones like Alibaba, it's all of them
God,
are just theft. on
Well,
paper.
you remember
I
how
ordered something from Alibaba and I actually got it. Weird.
the actual thing?
Good job.
Yeah, exactly.
I've ordered
exactly
two things
what I
from
ordered.
Alibaba. Neither one of them showed up. So I was like, no,
I've-
we'll do that again.
I've never been brave enough to try and order anything from Alibaba.
Yeah, I ordered.
What'd
I
you-
ordered some block off
I
plates.
think
some
I
LS
ordered
block off
something from.
plates.
I think I ordered something and it showed up. I think
See, now I have heard that at least I've heard that Canadian Alibaba works, but less.
It's the
I don't know.
same
I've seen.
Alibaba.
Listen, I've seen a lot of Canadian content creators talk about things with that. Like, I feel like in the United States, you don't get a lot of people that want to
I
order
keep
anything.
staring
off
at a chainsaw in Alibaba and thinking about ordering it.
because dudes hasn't learned his lesson yet.
I'm just like, man, they're saying it's a still knockoff from Japan, and
Oh, well, Dean, to talk about last week's, that episode will never be monetized, apparently, because after review, that's our first one where they said no,
They're sticking to their guns on that one.
Maybe a few people talking about unaliving other people.
Hey,
that's
that's
legal talk.
I don't know.
I've been told you can say that.
Did you talk to your YouTube person?
Oh, I'm not talking to that. We're not going to talk about her.
Yeah, unless she says it's okay to say, I don't want to hear it. Go science what you can and can't say on your channel.
So,
Turlo, what's up? Yeah, I guess.
Last week we did.
No, I think he's talking about right now.
Oh, no, not yet. No.
Yeah.
No. I don't think we've done anything yet.
Not yet. But give us. I'll be surprised is because I use scams in the title. It's funny. I just you ever heard of a 16 gauge?
Like metal?
Shotgun.
Or shotgun.
Yeah.
Now we're getting demonetized. We're talking firearms. Yeah. Who hasn't?
I've never heard of 16 gauge before.
You live in the hills. How have you never heard of that?
2012
16.
16's one I never heard of. So
not common.
The reason, I just saw one the other day, and that it looked just like that hole saw you were holding right there.
Wrong.
Joe Mama, Princess Auto better than Harbor Freight.
I would agree.
Isn't it the same?
No.
I gotta say, isn't Princess Auto just Canadian Harbor Freight?
I hear that a lot, but I have never looked at it.
It's a little bit different. I think the Princess Auto goes to the good part of that particular country to get the better manufacturing side.
Oh,
the better manufacturing.
They got to go to the slightly nicer.
So you're going to tell me the exact same factory just on like a Saturday?
It could be, something like that. Yeah.
Can you explain where that is?
Oh no! See, Princess Auto is more like a Tractor Supply or a Northern Tools, so that actually upgrades them quite a bit.
Yes, because you're going to tell me it's a Northern Tool, and that's a big difference. Because Northern Tools actually like good tools. I don't know if they're necessarily that cheaper than anywhere else.
They're fairly cheap, but I mean, you can go into Princess Auto up here, and you can get something that's really decent or something that's just crap. So you could go. I'm going to get this.
Harbor Freight and get all crap.
Yeah, well, there's that too. But you can go get like a pry bar, for example, at Princess Auto, and one will be very, very good, and the other one's Swiss cheese. It just folds up like a pretzel when you try to use it. So I have noticed the quality has improved over the years, and you don't get the pretzel ones, the Swiss cheese ones, quite as often now.
I feel like that takes some of the fun out of the buying experience. You never know when it's going to pretzel on you, right?
No, it can still happen. You still have some of that, like a ratcheting wrench, for example. I would not buy from Princess Auto.
So that's like okay. So that translates to Harbor Freight there at least,
right?
Harbor Freight is. I gotta get down there. HF. Oh, it is a scam. Yeah.
So I used to buy a lot of stuff from Harbor Freight because they were the only ones that sold specialty tools in town. So I'd always buy cheap specialty tools to get a job done. They're never worth. I mean, they're worth what you pay at the end of the day.
It depends how many times you're going to use it. You know what I mean.
Use it once and it got the job done. You got paid $200, and the tool cost you $20. You weren't going to get the job done without it. So
yeah.
Turlo, don't make me come down there.
If you're doing the job 15 times, you might want to buy the proper tool.
Owned by Amazon. Here you go. Here we go. Works on Mopars. I believe this guy's quite the Mopar fan himself over here at Turlo's Garage.
Yeah, Turlo is a bit of a Mopar fan.
Yeah. I mean, because that Jeep.
A Ford.
Yeah, he's got a Jeep that makes him Mopar all the way.
He has a few things. He has his drift car.
I just watched a bunch of stuff about a Ford.
Yeah. That's because he wants to identify. He likes the Fords, so he's going to identify it that way.
I think it's whatever mood strikes him. Sometimes he's Mopar, sometimes he's Datsun even, other times he's Ford.
Well, I can respect that. I'm all over the place myself. I mean, other than the Ford part. Friends don't let friends drive Fords.
So you're saying you and dudes aren't friends?
No, not at all. His wife
Okay,
drives that.
okay. I understand.
I killed the only Ford I had running currently. So
allegedly, we don't know. Have you confirmed death?
I haven't driven it since it was smoking out of that bank real bad. Like,
Probably shouldn't have been driving it in the first place.
well, there's that. Let's just say when I hit about 230,
Turlos, you have a good trip, brother. Be safe.
it may have been bad for
it. Harbor Freight owned by Blonde Amazonian.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
A throwback to an earlier one where Harbor Freight was owned by Amazon.
I guess we
I feel like Amazon would feel that was a good investment.
Rich said it over here, and then Dean really kind of morphed that one out of the conversation there.
Yeah, took it a step further.
So yeah,
I
tonight,
just recently bought.
I
was just in Harbor Freight, and I bought some engine brushes, and I was looking for the name of what you call these little. They're for cleaning out blind holes and things. The little
Pipe
wire
cleaners.
brushes.
Yeah.
Harbor Freight sells them. I looked them up once I found out engine brushes. The one that Harbor Freight sells is exactly the same as every other brand that sells them. So it's like, well, you might as well go buy the Harbor Freight one because they're all junk.
Well, in certain things like that, how many factories do you think make those
none.
particular items? There's one, and they sell it to everyone.
Exactly.
All right, so this is what's.
Put this on another screen and blow it up. Oh,
hold on, is this helping? Did I get close enough for you here?
Okay.
Look at this. I prepared myself, bud, and I'm here to be able to zoom and all the things I normally can't do. I studied for today's, so everyone should.
That
feel
is
better.
impressive.
Yeah. So I received this in the mail, and it's this is an official looking piece of paper. I got a customer ID number and a notice date. And I got to call by that certain date, otherwise I'm gonna be in trouble. And they have the vehicle that I've never even heard of. What is a freaking Trax?
They're really Trax.
Never heard of a Trax?
Yeah.
I never heard of Trax.
Cool SUV thing.
I kind of figured that was just short for something, and it was.
But it's
maybe
not spelt that way, is it?
I don't think it is either.
2024 Trax.
Really?
It's like the Captivia. You've never heard of that one?
Captivia sounds
so
like
this
something
is one of
that's
the
a
Chevy
supplement.
vehicles that's probably built in India. Then is that what we're talking about here?
I don't think it's built here.
What?
The next gen 2024 Chevy Trax affordable compact SUV.
There we go. So I don't even have this car. So the response to this notice requested. They make it sound like I owe them something. Like this whole thing is very in my face. Like if I was an older person, I guess. And this is the thing. Now that I've kind of retired, and a lot of people, they send me a lot of. I think they think I'm 90. I get like AARP letters and this type of stuff, and I'm like, Jesus, people, like late, it's not that crazy. But look at the bottom here. You go to the very bottom.
Oh, part of
right down here.
7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
This is an advertisement for vehicle repair contract. It doesn't look like it anywhere. Anywhere on here, it looks like it's a bill that I better call for. But I didn't have this. So they have the wrong number. Now, my thing is, and I know Dudes is going to play the other side of this. How does this work? Who does this get? Because it's so blatant if you just look at it.
It's got your name on it.
Well, here's one way they would get it, right? You don't own a Trax, so you're gonna call them up and say, "Hey, I don't own a Chevy Trax," and they're gonna go, "Oh, our fault. We'll remove it from our records. What kind of car do you have, though?"
I get that, and it's because I set this up to look like a bill, so you think you need to address it and actually contact them, which that's the scam. And there's no questioning that is the scam. The fact that it still works is the part that I think because it has to work, because you send this out. You spent money to send this to people.
So I'm going to bring this back to where
There's
I said
dumb people out there.
It said these things were built. So South Korea, Mexico, China, and Uzbekistan.
So they're an imported car.
That would explain why I've never heard of it. They're not making it for us, right?
Oh, it's imported.
Oh
It's
no, I'm sure.
Chevrolet.
I think you probably get it. Oh no, we get it too, according to this. I just don't ever recall seeing one.
It's very Canadian, actually. It turns out.
No, it's quite ugly. I don't.
So you could probably send us this so we
would
can
never
process.
survive the moose test. Never.
Oh yeah, go right. Well, it could go on. It could go underneath it, right?
It might. It might actually go underneath the moose. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, I've recently started a LLC, and I got were you still reading that?
No, I thought you were going to say GoFundMe for your elderliness.
For my elderliness? Yeah, if you guys can get on my GoFundMe for being old, thanks. One day I'm trying to be as old as Jim.
You ever had to buy all these Depends?
You have
really
no
don't
idea
want to be as old as me.
My adult diaper bill is just getting out of control. I can't handle it. I actually
love those things.
I actually need to start a GoFundMe to fix my truck that died.
It died. Technically, it didn't die. It just didn't start.
It just quit. Yeah, no.
It was fine before, and now it's not.
I keep looking into the parts that could be wrong, that would be upgrade parts if we had to replace them. This is going to get expensive and a lot of horsepower.
Yeah, it says diesel on it.
Yeah.
My 50,000 mile diesel is currently broke and doesn't
55 and it won't start.
My.
Yeah.
That would be
super worth it.
Yeah. I'm super
50,000 mile Charger is going strong.
Listen, it has 100,000 mile 5-year warranty on the drivetrain.
3 years ago.
That expired 2 years ago.
Seems like a scam to me.
Oh, sorry, they got me off topic. I mean, imagine that. It was actually WTF Productions LLC because somebody already has WTF LLC in the state of Oregon. It's a thing.
That doesn't surprise me.
I missed the mark.
It's something.
But when I did that, I got another one of these for a freaking a poster that's supposed to go on the wall because I own a business here. And it was a bill set up like I had fucked up. I needed to get this paid. Get it done right now. So I think we go on when you start a business or do something like that, you go on a list, and this company pays somebody for that list and then sends that scam. Yep. And if you read close enough in the description, kind of like the one I just showed, but I mean, obviously it works because how much does it cost to mass send out a letter?
But here's the point: it is a real thing that some states do require, so it does seem a lot more legitimate than other scams.
I'm not saying that it's not less legitimate than other scams, but a scam is a scam. The way they are.
Is it a scam if they're offering you a real service that is not indeed a scam?
The way they're presenting it is 100% because they present it as you have to buy it from them. In fact, you've already been committed to by this fancy piece of paper that looks like a bill, which is not a bill. The fact that you're disguising it to be exactly, they don't care. They'll sell.
You don't need the poster if you have like over 15 employees and one.
Yep, but we neglect to mention all of that.
You don't need to know all the facts. It's a scam.
Well, and so that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, so Rich says it right here. You have to limit the lying. I feel like if there's any section of lying involved in your advertising, like it's scamming.
If they're not telling you all the truth, it's technically not lying. Well, did you lie? No, I just didn't tell them everything.
Well, it comes. I mean, that comes down to if you're too stupid to do the homework and see whether or not you actually need the poster or not, I mean, maybe you should get scammed by somebody if you're too stupid to figure it out.
I guess that's where I come to my point. In today's age, you know what I did? Oh, limit the lying. Oh, good luck. How do you enforce that?
No, it goes back to, are you lying if you just don't tell them all the facts? If they don't ask,
it's because when you read that, if you read the stuff, they'll be like, well, in some states you have to have blah blah blah, and you don't notice the some part.
Okay, if you
It's
have to
very-
put the part that makes you incompliant with not lying in fine print at the very, very bottom of a page, I consider that to still be a scam.
I agree with you, but you know,
You know what I
sometimes
mean?
you just shouldn't.
A
fall
good
for
scam
scams
that
if
came to
you
my
just
house,
shouldn't.
and it comes back to where do these scams start and end? So it's all theft of information at a certain point, or they wouldn't know how to scam you or how to circumvent that scam. So at some point, the company I paid is do security on my house to monitor. They obviously got my information stolen from them because I received letters stating from the city that I was required to have a permit with the city to have a security system and to send a check to get the permit to this company, blah, 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 send it right away. And it was easy as calling the city and be like, what the heck is this? And they're like, yeah, that's a scam.
What up, fat cats?
But how many people would have just been like, oh, I got to get a permit to have a security system? That makes sense.
See, now back to the automotive scam thing, a different type of automotive scam. You guys remember the tornado air cleaner, right?
Yes.
Tornado air
Yeah,
cleaner.
it was
I
a little
don't.
metal insert.
Oh, yeah,
Insert
yeah,
makes
yeah.
the air
Vortex.
flow better. And,
Yeah.
yeah, and it'll give you a whole bunch of extra gas mileage. They do actually nothing.
Well,
But
man,
they
if
still
you want to go
not-
scams like that, we'll just talk about Dr. Oz all night.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Becky was Becky in the house, by the way. If everyone hasn't said hi to Becky, say hi to Becky. Hi, Becky.
And
Hey, Becky.
that's something to be said too. I think when Dr. Oz went in front of whatever grand jury to talk about his scams and how they were trying to prosecute him, he was literally just like, it's not my fault you're dumb.
Well,
They should have read the fine print.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about that. Because yeah, I
Yeah.
understand the need to protect some people, but at the same time, if I'm very cognizant of the risk I'm taking and everything else, why shouldn't I be allowed to join a pyramid scheme or something like that? Right?
Yeah.
wait, you're pro pyramid scheme? 'Cause I
Freedom.
just tried to.
Freedom.
Well, I'm
I-
not. Whatever, man. Like, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, most everything is a pyramid scheme. It's just whether
You're
a
not
certain body gets
wrong.
a cut off of it or not is what makes it legal or illegal.
He's not wrong. There's a lot
9
of
to 5,
pyramids.
40 hours a week is
Diamond
probably a
pyramid
scam somewhere.
Well, I was going to go more with Social Security as the scam, a pyramid scheme, because
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
the prime example of a pyramid
example.
scheme. Is Social Security literally?
We all exchange goods for shiny rocks.
Correct.
No, we
That's
don't.
the biggest scam
We-
there is.
No.
That is
We
the biggest
exchange.
scam there is.
We exchange goods for pieces of paper that
We
may
don't
be
do
able
that.
to
We
get
don't
us
even
shiny
do that
rocks.
anymore.
Yeah, we don't. We cut the shiny rocks out because it took too much to shine the rocks.
But I think we've had this discussion at one point where
It's
it
an
used to
upside
be
down
that you
reserve
would-
mortgage.
Yeah, that's a scam. But it used to be that you would betray, hey, I need furs to keep my family warm, and hey, I need food to feed my family. Hey, let's trade. Okay.
Mr. Rock One, what's up, brother?
Both people got something useful.
Well, but here's the thing.
And then at some
In that
point,
scenario, though, the people that need the person that needed his family to be warm always took the lesser deal. It was never as good as a deal because there's no such thing as a fair deal, ever.
Well,
maybe
shiny
maybe not.
rocks become easily transferred at a certain point.
What I'm saying is
True.
at some point, someone decided, hey, I want a piece of that action. Tell you what, I'll find the guy that needs the furs and the guy that needs the food. And for a small fee from each of you, I'll make the deal happen for you.
You're always going to have the middleman that wants
Right.
to.
And then you got the middleman happening. And then at some point they decided, you know what?
Sorry to hear that.
This would be a lot better if we could just come up with something common that everyone likes and that we can exchange for whatever goods we want. So in the grand scheme of
KFC,
things,
wet nut.
currency is the biggest scam there is.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I'd be willing to say government might be a bigger scam,
Which is ran by currency only.
Which is ran by currency.
or did they make the okay? So which one's the chicken? Which one's the egg? I guess would be in that scenario. Currency or governments?
It's hard to say. I wasn't alive back then, but I think currency is the the chicken on that one.
I think currencies started kingdoms, and kingdoms created governments,
and changed currency.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
The currency is a whole lot easier than trading. I cannot imagine spending all day trading with somebody. That would just suck.
Well, the thing is, yeah, absolutely. You're right. There is that aspect, and that's how.
What do you got for me?
Just chicken out of the back of my truck. I got a goat.
I got a llama.
Here you go.
You seen a llama? I got one.
Oh man.
Better than a camel, cheaper than a cow.
Do you guys remember back in the days of car magazines?
I thought you were going to go back in the days when you traded, hey, I've got.
Where are we going with this?
Yeah, I was going to say you stumbled too hard on this old joke, Mongrels. It was yeah. Come try later. You'll have plenty of time.
Okay, I'll try later.
Car magazine.
I missed the old joke, Jim. I apologize.
Anyway, so back in the day of car magazines, I used to get Super Chevy, and this was back when I was married, and my ex would do all of the bills, and
they were still in black.
She came to me one day and said, "What's the deal with this magazine?"
That's how it's done, Mongrels.
They keep sending me bills, and I keep paying them. Saying the subscription's going to run out.
Oh, dang.
I said, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I keep coming. Anyway, I told her to stop paying them, and I was receiving Super Chevy until at least 10, 12 years after I divorced her, because she had paid that far ahead on the subscriptions. Because they just kept sending, hey, you need to read.
That brings us back to Columbia House.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, get rid of too.
See that, but that comes back to, was that a scam? I guess that we do need to be a little bit, because you're at least getting something from Columbia House. It wasn't a full-on
scam because you were still getting something. You just get out of getting something.
Well, but it was a scam in the fact that they kind of misrepresented it into effect. So this is like certain video games. If you play and you push a button and they'll put a screen for doing something they want you to waste on right after something else you do. So if you double click like A twice, you'll hit a button that you don't want to hit. And it's a predatory way to get you to spend tokens or something like that. It's built into games. It's the same kind of principle in these scams.
Yeah, well, we'll talk. You want to talk about the king of that? That was Gauntlet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Gauntlet was the quarter eater. Everyone knew that.
Yep.
No matter how much food and everything else you found in that dungeon, you were never going to get away with not plugging another quarter into that game.
So what Rich said right here, the new pickups are 100,000. That is crazy, because my truck is having issues, and I looked at it. A truck that is the same year as mine that has 40,000 more than mine has on it. Now, granted, that truck runs and my truck doesn't, is going for what I paid for my truck 4 years ago when I bought it.
Yeah,
it has that new warranty, so.
Oh, his is probably not blown up. Yeah, exactly. It makes it way better. But had mine on Wednesday, if I'd have sold it when it was working, and not Thursday when it just decided and nothing happened between the two, I'm still salty about this.
And that goes back to when I talk scams. Automotive, owning a car is almost one of the biggest scams you can sign yourself up for, period.
Or are you going to go lease? We're getting into the leasing?
No, we're not going to go straight to leasing. We're not going to go do the math. All you had to do was get to work every day. You could probably more affordably Uber.
I feel like the bigger scam is that I can't drive a freaking diesel truck 55,000 miles in 7 years without it dying.
Yeah.
That's a bigger... no, I bought it. I bought a Garage Man. What is GMC?
I think the bigger scam is that you can't write off what you need to spend to go to work.
Yeah, that's a good point.
See, this guy keeps coming in with governmental scheme. Like, I like this. This is normally what I would do over here. You're supposed to be all nice and Canadian. What the hell?
That's you choose to live farther away from work, so that's perspective. You have to do a standardized, like this is a standardized amount on a general scale.
But and then now that brings us into the big scam. trying to get everyone into the urban centers.
Oh, well, it's easier to farm when you have everything. Because think about it, like they're farming the people.
Work.
That depends. What are you talking about? Every big city's always lasted
Do you own
forever,
the building
right?
you live in? No.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of taxes that aren't getting paid there because no one's owning anything.
Listen, it's called a farm. You make farms, and these farms farm people for money. That's what cities are.
Well, let's talk about this for a minute. You don't actually own jack squat.
No, but you pay taxes on it.
Well, you pay taxes on it because you stop paying your taxes on your property. See what happens.
But there's the exact point.
Yeah.
You aren't a homeowner. You don't pay taxes. You're just the guy who pays rent to the guy who pays taxes. Well, if that guy has enough places that he pays taxes on, he starts writing things off, and then he doesn't actually pay taxes.
Yeah, that's a thing. All you have to do, the best part is,
I'm not even going there. I'm going, let's say you are a property owner, you own your house, and you decide to park, I don't know, a Camaro on it, and someone
like 3
doesn't
Galaxies and a Thunderbird. And
someone doesn't like that.
Yeah, then
it's your property, but you can't do that.
Oh, it's the city's property.
It's the city's property.
Yeah, city owns it all.
Well, that's why you don't live in the city. But here's the thing. Okay, all right, okay.
You can upscale it. The county does the same thing.
Exactly.
If I move out of the country,
I was just going to say that. Damn it.
We'll just own the county.
I do want to talk about how Becky said you cannot get disability because you're fat anymore. When could you? Because I've been fat for a while, and I've been.
What's the scale of fat? Are we talking like 350 or are we talking 750?
Listen. I've been fat for a while. I need some of that money.
I feel like we don't need to give disability to somebody that weighs 750 pounds.
But there's a whole Simpsons episode about this, right?
I weigh like 300 pounds, and I need the disability.
Do we remember the Simpsons episode about this, where Homer went on disability because he was too fat?
I think they're giving out too much disability these days.
I think it's the system it's always been. If you know how to manipulate it, you can get on it.
Well, that's to be said about any of these scams.
If you're the standard person that legit needs it, you can't get the dang thing.
AARP now? Are we saying AARP is a scam, Becky, or
what does AARP stand for?
It has to do with old people and money.
I would know.
You would know. See, even Jim made the freaking old comment.
Association of Retired Persons. So yes.
Oh shit! That makes me a freaking member.
Yes,
apparently.
Exactly. Oh. So you're getting these letters, and you're like, I don't know why I'm getting these because you're retired. So there you go.
I'm just that far behind in the comments. I don't even remember that.
Retired.
I actually get
close to retired. I get them every week.
I get them because I share a name with my father and my father's father.
Oh God. What?
Quality wireless plans from AT&T, food delivery services, and many more. Membership includes 30 different restaurants and technological discounts, as well as savings at many of our favorite local restaurants.
Hey, Wasted, I sent you an email of something that showed up in my email.
An email? Jeez.
Yeah. I know, old technology here.
You call me old.
I do call you old. He's sending emails. I thought we were old talking about mail.
I mean, I send Morse code, maybe with some smoke signals.
Well,
I mean, I know that's what you've been sending this whole
about the SOS signal on his stupid battery charger. So,
Swedish cook.
I don't know what Canada's been trying to tell us with their smoke signals, but I don't like them anymore.
Kazakhstan has been sending some signals. Like seriously,
really?
What? I'll pick up the phone. Just call. Yeah.
No, seriously, folks. I'm giving Jim a hard time, but it's a good video, Jim.
Jim's like,
didn't even know.
Nope, I don't want you no more.
I test like 5 of those things a week. Don't worry about
it. Oh, look at this guy rolling in late. How you doing, Fox? How you doing, brother? We actually have not said anything about the Cowboys yet. No. It's not football season. No. It's weird. After last week,
Fox,
okay. Here's a caveat of AARP. AARP, if you pay for this membership, they actually offer fraud fighter protection and real-world tips and tools to help you from getting scammed.
Well,
Nice.
and so this is we've made many statements to it tonight too.
They're anti-scam.
We've made many comments tonight about, well, just be smarter about, blah blah blah, and that brings me back to the one I showed earlier, my letter. And even with the one we were talking about before with the poster, I did look those up because I have a phone and I double checked to make sure I don't need that poster that it says I do. And then it goes, oh yeah, that's a common scam. Why don't more people in this day and age where you have the internet at your hand do that before they go? Like, I'm super cautious. I don't trust
I
it.
have this internet at my hands, and I go on YouTube and I type information like, I don't agree with what you're saying on your video, when you can look that information up yourself and know you're wrong before you even type the thing you just typed.
Oh my God,
So
don't even get me started.
Answered your own question.
You know that doesn't matter. Come on, dudes.
I have guys that ask me what the parts they need for their vehicle, which isn't the vehicle I'm working on in the video.
I see you're working on a van. What's the starter for a Chevy Trax?
Seriously, I get those, and I'm like, I literally had this one. I didn't go look up. I've done it before. Where I've looked the part up for them, but
you know how many times I've messaged people back, be like, maybe you should ask Google.
It's specially disadvantaged. I mean,
specially disadvantaged.
Spatially.
Hey,
spatially.
I want to address Fox for a second. Hey, Fox.
Which
I have seen your video on your CJ5, and I just want to let you know that here in Virginia, there's a $400 CJ5 for sale that's, I think, in better shape than yours.
Oh. So you're saying he got scammed into that? Huh?
You're right.
Oh no, he admits in his video that it's rough. You know.
Car Mob, what is up, brother?
I think most things are rough these days.
What happened to the Shelby?
What?
It's a GTR now.
Oh, yeah, we're GTR channel over there now.
Oh, well, we're going back.
I haven't hit 53, and they have been sending that to me for a few years now.
I see. Yeah, but he wrecked the Shelby, right?
Did he? And when did Jim get to be 153?
I don't know, about 50 years ago.
150C.
150.
All right.
Fuck all of you.
Just getting picked on tonight.
I don't even want to hear it. You made an old joke about yourself in there somewhere that was better than the one Mongrels tried to pull off. So I mean,
well, yeah.
I'm tired. Okay, it's been a long week.
Listen,
it has been a long week. That is true facts.
Here you go. No more S550s for him.
Oh, God! Why didn't I missed that? I guess. I need to pay better attention.
I had some guys. I had some guys show up at my house last night, a little bit after 1 a.m. to buy a car.
That'll happen.
They bought it.
Really?
They drove. They drove 270 miles, and bought the car. And it was bizarre. They definitely have a story to tell now. And in fact, when I got up at 4, there was a rollback in my driveway, picking the car up to drive it 270 miles back to their house.
So they showed up and then could not obtain or take said vehicle. You didn't tell me this whole story. Like, I didn't put it together when you messaged me earlier. I was like, I figured you just talked to him for like 4 hours. Like, that's weird, Jim, but whatever.
No. I went to bed. I mean, they showed up.
I thought you were just hanging out with them. I'm just like, wow.
No. What? They showed up, right? Bought the car, and I was like, okay, guys, well, what are you gonna pick it up? What are you gonna do with it? Oh, well, maybe we'll come this weekend. Maybe we'll do this. Maybe we'll do that. Or we're gonna try and call AAA. And I'm like, okay,
AAA doesn't do that anymore.
I'm like, well, I'm going to bed, so I'm going to bed. I got to be up at 4 for work. This was like, you
didn't ask them nicely off your property, like.
No, they were fine. They were all right. And yeah. So 4 a.m. when I get up, I can hear the rollback out in the driveway, picking up the car.
Holy
So on
crap.
that note,
Yep.
I have scammed AAA in the past.
I don't know the statute of limitations on that, but
No, it's fine. It was under their own rules. They changed the rules later.
This YouTube channel gets tens of views daily, so somebody might see this.
Now,
Tens and tens of views.
I would buy cars that did not run and just call AAA and be like, hey, I need you to tow this. It just broke down. And they would send a guy, they'd pick it up, and they'd take it back home. I wouldn't have to haul nothing. It was free, okay? It worked great. And then they changed the rules to it has to be a registered and licensed vehicle, and then things got a little more And then at one point, you could actually be with a friend and use your AAA to tow their car. So there was a lot of people who'd be like, hey, I broke down. Can you come help me? I'll be like, I'm just going to call my AAA and have them tow your stuff because
it's not worth me coming to this side of the road.
And they actually put a limit on it per year because I was doing it like 9, 12, 18 times a year. And they started putting a limit of like 6 tows a year, which I was like,
you ever feel like you were the reason they were putting limits on these? Carmob, I don't think anyone has ever been disappointed with a GTR unless they broke it, because those things are just awesome.
I am a little 5,000 miles and it's a 2016 and it doesn't even start.
55,000 it doesn't start. Yeah, thanks for just digging that wound in deeper. Cool.
I mean, it stuck itself in. It's pretty heavy.
I at this point I'm willing to trade it for a GTR because
why don't you go turn it over?
I can watch it. It just spins and spins and spins. Yeah, well, I mean, they maybe wanted to do that with your GMC. GMC didn't want to do it with mine. It's like they knew something.
Yeah, maybe.
They did. It was
CP4 pump cloth.
What?
That's funny.
What?
He's just saying you can claim that fat disability that you got invaded by a radioactive E-ray.
Well, so but Fox is talking about for the VA, and I'm already 100% on the VA, so I don't know that I need to go back for this one. I feel like if you're going to put your glasses on and lean in like that, you need to read it out loud.
Okay, so you guys have something.
I had to make sure we could read it out loud.
That's true with Fox. Sometimes it might shouldn't be read.
Yes, but you have something in the States that I don't think we have up here, and you have these companies that sell mechanical services.
That isn't in Canada?
No.
You don't have that?
You don't have
car? You can buy like coverage for your car, so if your car breaks, you can get it fixed at a discounted price or for free or whatever it is, right?
Oh, like a warranty service. You don't have warranty service.
Like kind of a warranty service, I guess it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like third-party warranty or whatever.
So when they call you on these warranties, what do you tell them? Because I'll tell you what I tell them.
Oh, no. He's saying they don't have that up there.
I don't think we have that up here. No.
Because they know you don't own good cars or don't own...
Well, maybe that's why I haven't heard of them, is I don't have...
Because they automatically turn you down if you say your car's too high mileage or too old. Like that's their first thing. So there's some legitimacy to this thing. I just think they just take your money and don't ever actually give you something when things happen.
Well, I think it's just like insurance.
Exactly. You never want to pay out because that's a losing business.
Hey, we'll charge you up to to insure and make sure everything. What do you mean something happened? No.
Another big scam. Did you know life insurance has a drop date? Like if you hit, say, above 93, life insurance usually disqualifies you.
Certain ones do, because you're pretty much expected to die.
Pay for 40 years, and then you turn 93, and they're like, you've actually gone past the allowed plan. All the money you've currently put in, it's ours. Sorry.
Yeah, you were supposed to die last week, so there's really nothing we can do here. Your spot in the pyramid has been replaced.
Yeah. And what you put into the pyramid, the guy at the top.
That guy collected that actually a long time ago. We've really been hoping you would make it.
He's always
congratulations.
He's retired. He's gone. The next guy's moved up.
Yeah. He's hoping on someone just like you.
So when the warranty department calls you and asks you what car you own and how many miles are on it, you just pick a year, something more recent. So 2018 would be a good number. And then you just say it's a 2018 Ricochet. And when they go, what's a Ricochet? Well, it's a single horsepower automated device that runs on dreams and wishes and
broken dreams. broken dreams and promises.
Broken
That's what it runs
That's
on.
what all my shit runs on, is broken dreams.
Yeah,
All of it.
exactly.
Every last thing.
And
Here's
I've
my
gotten them
YouTube
to go pretty far. Like, can you spell that? Okay.
Oh my.
channel.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
Look that up.
you're just wasting the time of some phone caller
Yes,
center somewhere.
and what
Who's
I
just
found
wasted
out,
your time.
I waste a lot of time with telemarketers, and just recently that has come to a head. I don't waste time with them anymore because I receive 30 calls a day. I think they told their friends, and I'm not currently enjoying it. So
the telemarketers teamed up on you.
yeah, like I get so many of those calls.
I tell you, they have a freaking Discord just like we do, and you have somebody said, "Oh, I got this MFer," and freaking put your number in that Discord, and every one of them is just like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get me some of that American bearded ass."
Give me that phone number.
There is some interesting YouTube channels where there's guys that are scamming scammers.
Yes,
you can find that.
Which I wonder on the
Yes.
thing, like
It's a
at what
scam?
point. Well, no, at what point, you're hacking them and you're doing all these things to them that are illegal, essentially, because they're not supposed to. I get it, they're doing. Is this the whole two wrongs make a right
Quid
thing?
pro quo.
Yeah.
For entertainment purposes only, it's probably all scam.
I feel like if you're taking this info to police to get them busted and you're showing them what you did, it's slippery slope there, maybe,
Well, I mean, if you're offshore somewhere doing it, then is it really illegal?
Yeah, there's some actual big YouTubers that have taken it after the scammers.
That's the best. This needs to be a T-shirt. Your spot in the pyramid has been replaced.
You like that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Nunya. I feel like Nunya's gonna be
In your business.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of phone call scams because those are I don't know if I just
constant.
Well,
I don't get those, but I get these
Unrelenting.
I get the text messages. Becky sent me one that she was showing. She got one today apparently. But you get
Becky's a scammer? What?
Yeah, I was like, Becky's a scammer?
Oh no. Becky got a scam today apparently. She was sending it over earlier.
Becky's not a real person.
Because the IRS is going to text message you that you owe back taxes.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're going to send
Well,
a guy on that
some
deal.
of them.
Wait, mongrels. The IRS text messages you? Huh. Weird.
Like so,
Well,
Amazon.
Canada
No,
revenue,
they
but
don't do it like that. It's Amazon. Amazon texts you on your phone and says, "Hey, you got a problem with your account? Sign in on your text messages for some reason."
Some of these,
Yeah, I
some
get
of these
those
pretty
occasionally.
clever.
Well, so I can get the ones on your phone that are easy. You're doing this on the internet. There's not a lot of overhead for writing some code, sending out messages, bots, whatever the hell it is. But when you're sending mail letters through the snail mail, that's got to cost. I mean, you got to spend $1,000 to send to a million people, right?
That just shows you there's that many people falling for it, and there's that much money to be earned.
But people will feel that it's that much more legitimate, possibly.
See, I get it, and I look at it, and I go, "This is obviously fake." Like I don't know. I don't.
Well,
trust
you
everyone.
do, but
See, it's exactly what you just said. Because a common person would be like, well,
shit.
they wouldn't have wasted that money.
Cubs and Cletus in the house. How's it going, brother? Thanks for coming in. Thanks for being a long time channel member. If you guys haven't, go check out Stuff with Cletus.
Yeah.
Never. Now I click links on my iPhone because I'm still of that iPhones don't get hacked mentality.
That's untrue.
I'm fully aware it's untrue, but I like to live dangerously.
Apparently.
You also don't update your phone, so it has also no security policy. No, you're living pretty dangerously there, might I add.
Well,
listen,
and
I like to
going
party.
Be able to update his phone soon if it's old enough.
It's not. I have a 10 right now, so my 8, which was what the 10 replaced, is what they're cutting off.
Yeah,
but that's standard practice. Like, go use Windows 95. There's no support for that anymore.
Windows 98, sir.
Whatever. 95
Windows
still
XP, sir. Can't even go on the internet anymore. ME can't use that one either.
Well, I think we're just about done with 10 already.
We better not. I'm still on 10 on this one.
Well, I'm still on 10 too, but we're going to be done with it soon, guaranteed.
I think this one tells me I can't do 10 for some or 11 for some reason. It says I'm not a good enough computer.
It says you're grossly incompetent.
It's probably because you have a stolen version of 10.
Yeah, it's probably because of the stolen version of 10.
No, I actually have a legitimate version of 10 because when I built this, my buddy bought me a version for my birthday or something of Windows, and it didn't work. I had to call them. So they could freaking make it work or whatever. It was a pain.
I think the car.
I've never considered giving somebody that for their birthday. Christmas.
Well, it's practical. It's a practical gift.
I have a buddy who works for the
scams are going to get a lot worse, but they're going to come from the manufacturer.
Your scams come from the manufacturer?
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Oh, that's totally true. Like all the activatable heated seats and features. What brand is that?
That's
Tesla.
Yeah.
You
want to pay the
So we're going to sell you the car with all the
supercharger,
but you got to pay a rental fee to use it.
Yeah. Not wrong.
Yeah, that's my truck has OnStar. Some of OnStar's stuff you have to pay for.
OnStar is still a thing?
I don't
yes, OnStar is still a thing, and I didn't pay for it either.
Okay, that's a subscription service.
XP in the house right here, Rich. I like it. What on the plasma cutter?
The point I'm making, if you have built the car, the reason manufacturers originally built cars with different options so that you could have a lower priced car that someone could get into, and then if someone wanted the fancier version, they could get all the options on, and then they could pay them more money and get that car. Now you've built a car with all the options already in it.
I want to know how many you have, Fox.
I
is there a
pile on that? But OnStar, like my OnStar, the service that I no longer get because once the free subscription ran out, I decided not to pay for it.
Right.
Like they have a thing where if I wreck the car, it automatically calls 911. Well, it won't do that now. So they've stopped that service on my truck.
Yeah, but
it could do it. But I had to pay for it.
If you push the button and they answer, though, they have to report the accident for you.
So here's my question, because I don't understand how the old OnStar works. So how is it contacting anyone? What form of communication is it using? Does it have an air card? Is it using a cellular service that you're not paying for anymore? Is that cellular service now outdated because it doesn't meet 4G or 5G requirements?
No, OnStar is satellite, and they do it through the same uplink that they use for your Sirius XM.
So it's a sat phone.
It's essentially a sat phone, yeah.
Okay.
BMW started that too, apparently. Oh yeah, well, so my Z has an updated disc. I had to put in and update the computer for the maps. That was 03. Though, yeah.
Well, my charger and my
$99 for a CD. What? Yeah,
it was expensive.
Use your phone.
I never did. That was terrible because they implement this GPS system in your car, but you have to get it by CD every year to update it. When you have one of these that you can just put on,
like Becky said, yeah.
Well,
and nowadays you can plug it right into your GMC Link or whatever. Auto. It comes or Android Auto or whatever, and it comes right up on your deal. You don't even need the one. It's a better interface than some of the vehicles too.
Google really supports OnStar.
What do you mean?
I'm just looking for the technical details on how OnStar works, and it's just like, apply today. Get Guardian by OnStar. It'll save your life.
We'll sell you. Well, Google. So that's the thing. We're talking about scams. Google. It's been coming out that
get it in an app. You don't even need it on your car.
Well, no. Google is specifically YouTube has apparently been scamming advertisers for a while. We've talked about how YouTube and Google is not so forthcoming with how they distribute.
Now we're demonetized. Thanks.
Well, I mean, listen, we were demonetized probably already.
The overlords know our names.
They do. We gave them our names. What are you kidding?
Exactly. We're part of the peasants now.
Yeah, we've given them everything they have on us willingly. And
now
actually
you're talking against them. Watch what you say. Watch what
I
you
don't.
say, peasant.
They don't. They need to pay this peasant more for my silence.
Maybe paying you a visit with your broken leg.
Well, hey, listen, if Billy and Bobby show up to the middle of nowhere, Southern Oregon, they're pretty brave. Just saying.
Just saying.
They won't do that. They just say strike, strike, strike. Done.
Listen, there's banjos out in these
No
woods.
more pay for you.
Yeah. So the deal with them is that advertisers are getting wise to how well. So they ask YouTube, how well is our advertising working on your channel? And they go, oh, it's working great. You guys are doing awesome. Give us more money. And apparently those metrics might not be as accurate as they may have wanted people to believe.
Well, yeah, because they advertise super well. They're going to tell the advertiser that, and they're going to tell you that you're getting a cut of that advertising money, but nobody's getting anything.
It's quite the Ponzi scheme if you looked at it from like a 10,000 foot view up. You're like, this looks a lot like a Ponzi scheme. And a lot of people say
nobody's ever called it a Charlie scheme.
Well, because his name wasn't. I mean, Charlie wasn't as memorable as Ponzi was.
His name was Charles Ponzi.
I get it, but Ponzi seems more. Well, okay. Last names were primarily used for things that were invented for somebody in their inventing of it, right?
I feel like we need to roll the dice.
The best part about the Ponzi scheme is he didn't even come up with it. He stole the freaking idea, and that's the best part of it.
Charlie schemed.
We're gonna change that. It's like our TED Talks.
TED Talks.
Ongoing money pits. Well, that's like a boat or anything else. Like if you can't expect to just throw that money in the middle of the room and light it on fire, you probably shouldn't buy an RV or a boat.
Like owning a car.
A car gets that you. Well, that's the thing. You need a car. You don't need
a car.
Yeah, you're right. You don't.
City transit everywhere.
If you live in a city like us, well, all three of us. Three of us live outside the city limits of public transpo.
You could get a bicycle.
No.
The cowboy hat really kind of brings that together. No.
The cowboy hat has holes in it. Doesn't count.
It's holy.
It's a holy hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for ventilation on the hot days.
All right, hit us up. Hit us up with your big scam. Your big.
Do you know how much you sweat in a felt cowboy hat if you're wearing it with the sun beating down on you?
I wear cowboy hats all the time.
I feel like we're gonna get demonetized the more you talk about your felt cowboy hat.
And how much it makes you sweat.
Yeah. I feel like
they made a movie about that.
Yeah, something about a mountain.
Yeah, something
about a mountain.
All right, tell us your AT&T scam.
Careers were made. So when AT&T was broke up,
Rich, what's up,
in
brother?
their big monopolies are unmonopolying back in the day.
When they demonopolized it.
When they demonopolized them. There was a lot of different vendors that were part of AT&T that had multiple charges and surcharges and fraudulent charges realistically. But there was a lot of charges on your bill after they broke them up that you didn't quite understand. They were just like, they're just on there. Well, some of those charges were actual con artists literally creating charges where AT&T was pulling money out of your bill and sending it to an extra company. AT&T didn't care who it was because they just looked at it as, this person added this. Well, a lot of times it was a scammer added it to your account with nothing more than your name and your phone number. And then people started catching on that they're paying $3, 2 cents, whatever it is to all these different things. And by the time they figured out it had been going on for years and it had added up to millions and millions of dollars that these scammers had essentially just taken off of everybody's bill. And nobody was the wiser because they did it at $2 and $3 a piece versus actual allotments of money. Because no one cares about a $3 charge when you're getting all these extra charges anyway on the
bill. I care.
Well, so there's a very similar one that I've heard from carriers.
Caller ID.
When the ships had dispersing on the ships, and basically guys were taking, like the people that were in charge of everyone's money takes a couple of pennies from every paycheck. 3,000 or 4,000 people on the boat, and that was a scam that has been ran once or twice that I've heard of.
I can see that.
It doesn't take a lot. It's just like this is the what was it? Office Space. Wasn't this the whole freaking premise? Well, they'll take $1 or $2 from the accounts and then retire, and then get all the money in one day, and they're like, "Oh crap, we got to put it back."
Yeah, that was kind of the whole premise. But the best part of that movie was like, here you've been missing a lot of work there. Let's say I've been missing it, Bob.
Can I call you Bob?
Can I call you Bob?
I love that.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Who was it though?
I thought it was a
That
good
also
one.
a good part of that movie.
Red Stapler.
A swing
What do
line.
you think about Tipper?
They didn't have this before that movie came out.
What do you think about Tipper?
Yeah. Becky
That's
just it's gonna get hot out here.
It's mine.
We're gonna be over 100
There was
degrees.
no-
this
We have a
week.
guy that works with us who's an engineer. That he's not a big movie watcher, and he looks like the older version of that guy. And
Well,
one of
that's
the
why he
interns-
doesn't watch. He's got to be aware of himself, right? Though.
No, he's not. He is an old engineer that lives and breathes work. He doesn't watch average. He reads books. So one of the interns was like, "Here, hold this stapler. I'm gonna take a picture of you." So he's like, "Whatever." And he holds the stapler, takes a picture, and then they talked him into putting it in his avatar. And everybody's like, "Oh my, he looks like an older version of that guy holding a red stapler," and he had no idea. And I was the guy who was like, "Hey, you know what that is, right?" He's like, "What?" He just told me to hold a stapler. I thought I was being cool with the intern. It's like,
Which is true. He is
Aw.
being
Yeah.
cool intern. That's
he was
true.
not
Poor old
happy
guy got
about it.
scammed.
So he was not
He
happy
got
when he
scammed. He got
found
scammed.
the. What was the problem with the? I mean, so you look like a retarded guy. It's fine.
Because he didn't know. I mean, you know.
Now we're demonetized.
You're not in the show.
That
Thanks,
was a
That
hard
was-
R.
Oh, we can't say that.
It was a hard R.
It's a hard R.
Oh,
You
my
never
bad.
go full R.
Oh well, I
Why
was
is
just
that a
watching a thing
scam?
about that. What's the scam?
Your fault this time.
Make fake porns of victims and demand payment.
I don't think we can talk about this one.
Oh, that's probably not. Well, yeah, we probably. Well, I'm interested to see if this gets demonetized just because we're talking about scams.
NBC News. This is what the wife brought over as her scam of the month.
I love how she drags the chair.
Yeah.
The best part.
FBI warns about deep fake porn scam. The FBI said it
Oh.
received a growing number of complaints of criminals who use deep fake tools to create fake pornography videos of people and their demand payment from them.
I feel like you just
Hmm.
it's not true, and you go, yeah, that's definitely not me. My D is way smaller than that.
I mean, like that would question, like, if you're like, how much money do you need? Like, whoa, Bill.
yeah, like how many? What are you doing?
This reminds me of one of the best scams I ever heard, though.
Oh,
So there was oh man, I know I'm going to screw this up. I'm going to do the best I can with it. This is back in the day of VHS tapes.
Okay.
I gotta come back
Yeah.
to Fox here.
Yeah, and there was a fellow that offered a service where you could get these tapes, and it was kind of a pyramid scheme. And
But you like pyramid schemes.
yes. But what he did is he set up two names. So you legitimately buy this tape, and then he only produced so many tapes. And so people would be waiting for this copy of their tape to come in, their VHS, and they'd be waiting, couldn't get it. So then they'd want their money back. And he'd say, okay, sure, I'll send you your money back. But he would only refund it via check. And the check was made out to like a certain type of porn with a very, very bad, and you had to take it into the bank and cash the check. So
So the check was offensive,
but he
essentially.
did give them their money back.
Yeah,
So he never
being
did
given to them by a
anything.
check they weren't going to give to the local teller.
Yeah, but the problem is now you have to keep enough money in that account for a good period of time to make sure you don't overdraft that account on accident.
It's not even about overdrafting that account because most
Unless you
banks
put that
actually
thing at
charge
the bottom
you.
that says
Well, what
void
I'm
after
saying
30 days or
is what
whatever.
the
you can put that
company was
check
called-
expires after 30 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the company was called, I'm not going to say it here because it will get us demonetized.
Ah.
So it was that bad. So there's no way I'm going to go.
Yeah, you're not going down to a local bank and be
You're
like,
not
hey,
going
Barbara.
to go refund that check. There's no way.
That's genius. I mean, it's terrible, but it's
Oh,
genius.
it's genius. It's
That was
absolutely
before
genius.
people had like less morals, I think. Because
So
I'd be totally about. They'd be like, "Why
Well-
does it say that? It's money. Don't worry about it."
don't
Now
worry
now
about
you can
that.
just
$100
deposit
for
that
$20.
check with your phone
From your
and, no
from your
problem.
phone.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
do that. I'm not giving all my information.
So
to the computer.
when we were in Iraq, we had a lieutenant that would be in charge of our airlifts back and forth from country to the States. And he would go to the DRMO, which is where they would have commissioned vehicles and things. There's some good deals to be had in the DRMO. And he would allot space on C-17s and big planes to get his stuff that was out of the DRMO back to the United States to then sell on eBay.
You can't do that.
You can't. And he ended up also going to Leavenworth to make big rocks into little rocks.
Yeah, like, you can't do that.
And he was Lieutenant Beers was his name. Beers, like just like the
That
beers.
scam needs its own name. Like, got beersed.
He did totally get beersed. He's out by now, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, he was bringing home like heaters and generators and water pumps and just whatever they brought to Iraq. And we're like, shit, we don't need this here. He'd be like, oh, I'll take it.
Not so much a scam, more theft. I may know of a company who employed someone in the fleet department.
I know someone
that would steal batteries off of a shelf. I mean, that rows of batteries for anything that needed a battery. And he would steal said batteries and just mark them out to a vehicle. That vehicle needed a battery. No one's going to track that. Away the battery goes. Well, the problem is when you sell interstate batteries and they have a warranty, they know who they sold them to when the warranty is taken up on.
Yes.
So, this guy had a battery, said this thing's broke, it's under warranty. Interstate said, you can't have this battery, it's owned by company, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, that's funny because I bought it off of the old Craigslist. So what are we going to do here? Because you're going to give me a battery because I paid for this battery. And they went, that's fine. And they informed the company at the key account level, hey, we don't know how this happened, but your battery got sold to somebody. So then they started watching. Well, the company, they're not into busting someone at a level that's not prosecutable.
Well, yeah, at a certain point, it's not worth it to them.
Yeah. So they just kind of let it keep going for about 2 years.
Oh, no.
And they let him get good and mired in his bad decisions. And then they got some police officers to buy some things. And they had already tracked through the books and found out that there was car parts ordered. He ordered a complete engine and transmission for his Toyota Tacoma from Toyota through the company. Like, no one was ever going to catch that.
Well, obviously they didn't for a while. Jesus.
Yeah. So when it was all said and done, he went to jail for 10 years on grand larceny for well above 20 grand. So it was just like, yeah.
20 grand is not enough to go to jail for 10 years.
Well,
no.
And that's what they could prove. That's what they had. Absolute, without a doubt, this is what we're going to put him in jail for. But yes,
it was probably all.
Is it worth 20 grand to lose your career, your life, and everything for 20 grand? Because I don't feel like 20 grand is worth that.
You're going to need to do better than that for that kind of.
Did you see the new scam that they are currently looking for the gentleman? He goes into Amazon fulfillment centers, dresses up like an Amazon employee, walks in, just starts scanning stuff and filling bins full of iPads and electronics, and then just rolls them out to his car and loads them up. And he's been doing this now for a couple months, and he has stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars of electronics.
That's hilarious.
So listen, I'm not a fan of people getting scammed, but that one is.
And the best part is they have him on camera, and he just walks in all nonchalant, like, "Hey, I'm Bill. I'm the new guy tonight. I'm just gonna come."
Well, that's the thing. There's so many people at those places. It's the hiding in plain sight. We used to do it in the military all the time. When you need to go tactfully reacquire something or reappropriation of government funds or however you wanted to, you just walked in there like you were supposed to be there, and everyone's all, "What's that dude doing?" I don't know, but he looks like he's supposed to be here. And,
yeah. I don't know how that dude walks around to Amazon. An Amazon warehouse with those 2 bowling balls between his legs. I mean, that dude's got the biggest balls ever.
Side story to that, similar gentleman walks into Walmart's. He's done this to 3 Walmarts just recently and dresses up like the person that comes to collect the money from the Walmart and just goes in there and collects the money from the Walmart. Like they give him 70 grand in cash and he walks away with it.
This dude,
Wow.
Fox right here. 1 NVG for every 3 dudes. Everyone else got a flashlight. Just share, essentially. Is that what they're saying, Fox? Jesus, I knew it was bad in the Marines, but oof, that's rough.
You don't need night vision.
That's just fight during the day. God.
Once the guy with the night vision starts shooting, you shoot in that direction and you'll be fine.
To be
Once you
fair,
get
I don't
tracer
know
fire. It's
I
good.
don't know that a lot of those insurgents had a lot of night vision.
Yeah. All you need is one. And like I said, that guy shoots. You shoot where
Yeah.
he's shooting. And it's just called blanket fire. It's fine.
Well, I remember when we would get briefings of how they were shooting mortars and stuff at us with like ice block timers. Essentially, you put it on a piece of ice and then it would make connection and then shoot. So that because what we would do is as soon as something would shoot, we'd see where it came from and then we would just like
Go roll
turn
up
that
on
area.
it.
We would turn that area to glass. They would send like
Yeah.
Apaches out to just
Yeah. So they were being pretty smart. They were just
they didn't want to be
we're
anywhere
not
near
gonna
that.
be there.
I heard stories of guys they were tying these things to like donkeys and stuff so they could get them to go off and all kinds of crazy stuff. Heavy D just got a shitload of arm. Well, Heavy D, but there's been a lot of government surplus items that make a lot of people a lot of money. The military loves to get rid of stuff at cheap prices. What are you two talking about down there?
Military surplus has always been a thing. What are you acting like that's a new thing?
No. That's what I said. It's been a thing for a long time.
Okay.
That's what I said.
How does this tie into scams?
Military is a scam.
No, it doesn't tie into scams. Becky was talking about Heavy D just bought a bunch of army stuff. We were talking about army stuff, which was a scam when the guy was stealing it from Iraq. That's where we're tied back into.
It's tying all back around. Let's talk Enron.
Enron. Wow,
Biggest
you're going
scam.
there.
That's a throwback.
That's actually been outdone.
By who?
There.
Well,
You haven't looked this guy
Yeah.
up? The dude out of Malaysia or whatever it was? Have you heard about this dude?
No.
Oh my God. This dude was the money advisor for a Malaysian country out there somewhere, an island country starting up. We've got a new president. We're changing the world. We're going to do all these things. And he stole billions with a B, bud.
Enron did too. I don't think he beat Enron.
I think he did beat him. It just recently happened. The last, since 2016 is when this dude just did his deal.
Malaysia.
You have to adjust for
It might
inflation.
don't quote me on the Malaysia part.
Don't quote me on the Malaysia part.
I threw that one out loose and fast. But it's somewhere over in an island country.
Most times they
Becky.
tell you they're going to change the world. It's a scam.
So this
Same.
dude funded a movie through his scamming of pyramid scheme. Crap! What was the movie that he did? I think it was it
I
Tom
don't know
Cruise?
anything about this story. You were
I
all witty about it.
I watched this video
There was a
one
guy
time.
with a thing, and he took a bunch of money.
wasn't
We're sure it was
prepared.
more than Enron.
All right, go with your
And
head
what
on.
about
I'll look
the,
it up while you're going.
What about the giant influencer scam? What was it called? Fire Island or something like that?
Oh, that
Where
was the concert that everyone showed up to. It was supposed to be paid a bunch of money, and
Oh
then
yeah,
There was
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that one. There was no concert. It was
That was
all just
great.
a crappy island
A whole
where they
bunch of
didn't have
people taking
bathrooms.
selfies.
No bathrooms, no nothing. They were just left on the island to starve and
Nice.
Yeah.
try to murder each other. Because no, I think the bigger scam was they took them all there. I think the way I read that was, and there was no way to get back. Like they didn't charter the boats to come back.
Ooh, this is a good scam. This one is
This is a
straight up
good one
car
to
related.
discuss.
That was scam against the government.
Which again, and this is like earlier when we were talking about the guy who was scamming Amazon. When people scam a company, I'm strangely okay with it. But when other people get scammed by other people, I'm like, screw those people. They're terrible.
The cars got better mileage before they put the systems on there. So the people that bought the cars were getting the good deal until the government stepped in and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
You're a liar.
We noticed that your car goes into a special test parameters.
Yeah, when we hook the computer to it, it's really weird.
It took me a while to catch on to that one, though.
That's because you got some I want to be like, who was the guy who was like, you know what we could do? And his boss is like, you know what?
Drop
That's
some code in there.
That's a great idea.
These are never going to pass emissions in America. What are we going to do about that?
Well, this is why the EPA has turned into such nasty folks. It's the VW scam.
Well, I want to know the final bill on what it
always
costs
nasty
to
folks.
store all those cars in parking lots until they could be repaired.
Oh yeah.
They had to seize them. So, because I remember the pictures of all the parking lots full of VWs, and I'm like, that can't be cheap. Because that's just like, I'm a parking lot owner, and I'm going to charge you whatever I want.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
what's the
VW
limit?
is still alive and well and doing great.
Well, you know what? That's probably why one of those cruise ships, not one of the cargo ships, caught on fire with all the VWs on it. What do we do with these? I got an idea.
Sink 'em.
No. They're pretty stupid.
Well, pretty stupid scams. I guess that's the fundamental thing. All scams are pretty dumb if you really think about it. And everybody that was part of it probably should have thought a little bit. Not to say they didn't get scammed justified.
You get a lot of people that think that's, easy money, easy investment, easy, that's hardly ever true.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think the best scam name ever was Bernie Madoff, though. I mean, dude's name was Madoff.
Oh, I know somebody. That lost their entire fortune in that.
Yeah.
And
Really
I
sucks
look
for
at
them.
that one and I'm just like, that really sucks. But dude's name was Mr. Madoff. Give me your money.
This guy was interesting. He made all of his money. He made all of his money off importing Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man to the United States.
Huh.
Way back in the day when they first came out,
That would have been a big business to be
in Japan at a convention and saw the game being played by all these kids and went over and checked it out and was like, "Hey, can I be the sole importer to the U.S. for this?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
He made gazillions of dollars and then gave it to Bernie Madoff to invest for him and lost everything.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, that was obviously much later, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for the guy.
Well, what's that new one that just happened with all the Bitcoin stuff where he over leveraged everything and then and they just let him off?
I wasn't. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Damn it. That was
that
part of the
crypto-
bank
the
that collapsed too,
company.
wasn't it?
Kind of.
RTX or something like
Yeah,
that.
RTX. That was another one where
Yeah,
they're
the
like, "What'd you do with
crypto
all the
queen.
money?" And he's like, "Strippers and blow." You know,
Is that really what he said?
it was pretty much like he was showing the accounts and what stuff was paying for, and it's like, that's not business related at all.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, let's went into the economy. The shadow
What?
economy. But
Okay, well,
still.
since we're talking about automotive scams, let's talk about dealerships.
Oh,
dealerships are total
Jesus. Yeah. Well, that's what dudes and I talked about this a little bit before I put it up to you guys. And it's there's a lot of scams in the automotive industry that are still common practice somehow. That's my biggest part about all these scams. How are they still a thing?
Well, and the manufacturers have been attempting to crack down on some of this stuff.
Yes.
But
Well, that's why
again,
Tesla doesn't have dealerships.
yes, but again, we come up into this thing: is it really a scam?
Not if everybody
Yes
agreed
or
to it.
no? The customer agreed to pay the price. So
Yep.
is it a scam? I'd like to know people's opinion on that, because yes, they've inflated these vehicles, but the simple fact of the matter is the market will support that price. Obviously, since they've sold so many vehicles at that price.
I mean, he's not wrong, unfortunately.
I don't know what my wife's looking up over here, but she found the biggest heist/scam in Canadian history.
Oh,
All right. Here we go. I found it. The Man Who Robbed an Entire Country is the name of the video.
Was it a real
that I
country?
watched.
Is it Malaysia?
So he funded the Wolf of Wall Street movie was funded
Oh.
with money stolen from the country. This dude, that's the irony in it. That's he made the movie.
That's why we get to hear about it.
Scam. Yes, the reason you got to watch that movie is because he scammed the money from the company, or not the company. The let me see here. It was a crypto.
Well, I have seen that movie.
I kind of feel like crypto more and more is becoming a bigger scam industry than what it actually is.
Okay, so you ever heard of, it was Malaysia, and it's the 1MDB fund. It was a Malaysian fund set up like the way Saudi Arabia set up a fund for themselves in order to, make the place really nice for investors to come in and set up infrastructure for Saudi Arabia. Malaysia did the same thing, and the guy in charge of the fund stole all the money and partied his ass off for years and funded a movie about scamming. This dude threw parties with like $30 million parties.
I feel like that's a super bold move. Just be like, you know what I'm going to do with the money I stole? I'm going to fund a movie about stealing money.
Well, everyone thought he was super freaking
you got to do what you know.
Well, that's just it. A lot of super rich people have no money. They just use their business expenses to fund everything. And realistically, personally, they don't have very much.
Yeah, because it's a shell game. You're just moving it around where,
like a $50,000 a year hair budget.
Hair? Did you say hair budget? I totally. I was reading comments. Uncle Bernie.
I was doing the same, and I was trying to determine, did he say hair or pear?
Hair.
Yeah. I got it.
Do you imagine spending $50,000 a year just to have your hair done?
I mean,
I know women that do that. I mean, that happens all the time. So,
women,
right?
$50,000.
I feel like that. I mean, how much does it cost? I feel like when chicks go to the freaking hair place,
it's a $50,000.
How much does your wife go get her hair did?
A month.
Does your wife go get her hair did?
Yeah.
How much does it cost every time?
It ain't costing me total per year. It's probably like $1,000, maybe $1,000.
I bet it's more. How many times does she go? Let's get her down here. Where'd she go?
No, she only does it like 4 times a year.
And how much each time?
$200 and some bucks.
$200 and some bucks. That's over $600 a year.
How often do you get your hair done?
Once a year.
Once a year, even less. See, I'm a good.
Oh, even less. There we go.
He's cheap.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You got a good job. You can go out and get your own hair did. You don't need his money.
I have to pay for his cars.
Well, yeah, you actually got the bad end of this deal. Yeah, you married an addict.
How'd that happen?
Sometimes I get it done twice a year.
Even then, that's not that much. It's nowhere near $50,000 for hair maintenance.
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. Don't worry. Jim and I have both dropped an F-bomb, so we're up to 3. I'm pretty sure we're still good.
A counter in the corner.
We're counting this now?
I feel like it matters to the monetization of the goods here.
I don't know. We normally get the monetization ruling in our favor once we hit review. Last week was an exception, I think.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen so many videos where they're dropping F-bombs right and left, and these are huge channels, and they seem to make plenty of money. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know if they do. I don't think they make it off the ad revenue, though. They probably make it off of something else. Like there's a certain fellow up here that's what he was famous for, blowing up diesels and dropping F-bombs. And he completely changed his channel and just put it in a bunch of beep, 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 beep.
Oh, Peg. Yeah. Well, Peg, 100%
name there, bud.
Oh, my bad. I really don't give a crap.
Well, if you want to say the name, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yes, that's who I'm talking about.
Well, I know you didn't want to say it, but I'll say it. I don't care. But yeah, he told us straight up. He's like, yeah, they told me to stop, or otherwise they'd bury me, and then they did.
Yes. Which is sad because
but I feel like they bury people that don't do anything at all. So
I was gonna say they've been burying me for forever. So I don't
but the thing about it is again, it's up to the consumer, I feel, when that's the case, because there's times where I really enjoy just sitting down, watching his content, and as
but it's not
natural as
about
he is.
that's where you're wrong. It's not about the consumer.
Well, obviously, that's been proven.
It's about the advertiser. Yes, it's always been about the advertiser. You know.
The consumer is a function to get paid by the advertiser.
But this is where we in today's society have kind of lost track of some stuff, because should be about the consumer.
Yes, and if it was not an automated system, it may be, but
it's a system that's made to be exploited. All of these systems are made to be exploited for the most money we can wring out of wherever we're farming it. This is the new scam too. Now we bought a bunch of reviews that say everything is legit, because what does everyone do? I go, like, when I see a company that I don't trust, I go on the internet and see what I can find out about this particular company or scam.
My merchandise site has a lot of that. I've never even sold that many items, and there's 50 reviews saying the shirts are great. Who put that in there? I didn't pay for that.
I didn't pay for that. You did though, because you pay for a certain amount of their package, and part of the package apparently is talking up how good your crap is.
Fake accounts, and they're doing that because
they are, because if they're not, they're losing out because everyone else is. And this
my wife just said, "Is it a scam if I was to do a beard raffle and then sell pieces of my beard to the fans, like a memento?"
Are you actually selling your beard, or are you going to sell the cat's fur and tell them it's your beard?
Why not share the beard?
Well, then no, that's not a scam, because you're actually, it's weird. It's creepy as hell. I think it's actually going to do a lot better than I want to believe it's going to do because of weird people out there, but it's not a scam. You know
is that your wife's way of telling you maybe it's time to get rid of the beard?
That's a way more inventive way than my wife's way. She just says, cut your beard, and then I'll do it.
Doesn't look like
I don't think she signed up for a lumberjack hippie, but that's what she's ended up with lately.
Well, she did sign up to a military man previously, and this is a far cry from that has ever been.
Oh, it's funny. Every Wednesday we're doing the throwback videos, and Tim keeps commenting. I was like, look at that clean cut. And I was like, yeah, we're not going back to that.
I don't know how you guys can. I don't know how you guys can.
I had a mustache for a while in the military.
He was a pedophile.
Oh, big old creepy caterpillar.
And I was bald, like super shaved.
Now, did that come with its own van with no windows, or was that sold separately? Like, was the mustache, no?
And free candy.
Free candy.
Free candy. I heard it's more Wi-Fi now. You got to write Wi-Fi on the
free Wi-Fi. Ice cream.
Pokemon characters.
Yeah, Pokey stops were a big thing. I was actually, speaking of scams, but that was Pokey. Remember when you had to go to some Pokemon Go? There were people that would set up fake Pokemon spots to get people to middle of nowhere and then rob them. Because what are you doing? You're walking in there with your $1,000 phone.
How do you not know with your phone? Like, does somebody have to tell you that it's there and then you go figure it out?
Well, so the Poke spots were all over. Dude, it was a thing. Yeah.
I never.
That reminds me of another scam where people will legit hit your vehicle.
Yeah, insurance scam.
Well, no. This is worse. You'll be at a red light. They'll come up, hit this, usually to a lady. They hit the vehicle so that you get out of the car.
Oh.
And then they'll either take the lady or take the car or both.
Yeah, abduction. Oh. I never got that where, you get into a road rage incident or any type of incident with a vehicle, and then you decided we're going to get out of the vehicle and I'm going to fight the person who's not getting out of their
I'm not saying this was a fight. This was like just a minor little tap. Then you got to exchange insurance information, right? So yes, isn't that what we got demonetized for last week?
No, we were way worse than that.
Okay.
Are we demonetized yet? I mean, it's been an hour and a half.
We weren't a minute ago. I can go look again. I've been slowly checking.
I don't think we've done anything to get us demonetized.
So they actually warned people for a while.
We are 100% demonetized.
I don't know why. That's bull.
That is bull.
That's bull. We've been very censored.
Very today after last week. So I'm going to go ahead.
It was a tip. So pay at the pump has always been a thing. So if you're a woman, you essentially leave your purse on the passenger seat. And when you get out of your car, it unlocks the door. So then it was common for people to roll up, open your passenger door, grab your purse, and drive off. Like,
Okay.
that was a super common thing because you're on the wrong side of the car now. You're over there pumping gas. So you're not stopping them from doing that. And they kept telling them, if you're going to get out of your car, lock your car. And they were actually telling people to lock their car when they were pumping gas.
Yeah. Well, have you seen that one where the guy's pumping gas and they roll up on him in a van like they're gonna get out and like abduct him, and he's just like,
gas.
free gas for everybody, homies. Yeah. We're all going out. I'm like, oh, that's brilliant though. I don't know without seeing that if I would have in the moment thought of that, or you know what I mean? That's
I would have thought of another thing, but I don't know if I would have had enough.
There was a lot of them there. I mean,
yeah.
If you're talking 2 per individual, that's pretty much empty. Hope you got another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're going to run after the first shot.
Are they though? I've seen some ones where they don't.
Yeah. You better hope that when they're holding them sideways and shooting.
You take out 2 or 3 of them. Hopefully
okay, listen. All right, I just told them that we can be monetized and to review this. So let's not. I believe that when I hit the button, I believed that, but now I'm a little questioning. YouTube loves us. We're what makes it. Gummy worm? Well, it's better than DQ.
I can make that.
This guy. Oh, don't you dare! That's just
I think
rude.
I think it's all of our free sponsorship plugs that we give out every week, quite frankly.
Oh, is that what it is? YouTube isn't getting their piece of the pie from that, and so they're keeping us down.
Yeah, I mean, as long as
Recent
we got things like this,
is how they found out about the Pinto gas tank problem. Well, that was just like the Nixon problem. Is when you have a lot of people like recording and saying things via email or recorder, you get caught.
I don't know about that, Dean. Well, yeah, getting caught is.
Yeah, like, hey, didn't you just record yourself saying that you raided Watergate and did the whole thing?
Didn't he record like everything?
Yes, he recorded everything, and he's very racist. like that was the best recordings of all of it. If you listen to all his recordings, which they're public, you can go listen to them. Some of the stuff that man would say, it's like, that's not very presidential at all.
Yeah. I'm gonna go bankrupt the No Name Nationals guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh boy. How are you gonna
do
it? Well, they're doing their live right now too, right?
Oh, are they over there? That's probably we lost some viewership here towards
like
the end.
7 people.
Yeah.
We had 7 people.
Oh wow. We lost our whole audience.
Our whole audience. Dean is still here. And I'm pretty sure Piston is still here. And Fox is still here. So we got the core members. That's what we need.
But those guys are probably doing the split screen. They're probably watching.
John will.
On mute.
Listen, Dean's just going to make him morally bankrupt when he gets over there.
Oh,
that's
okay. So there's 61 watchers strong over there.
Yeah.
Good for them.
When is that's coming up? That's like next month.
Yes,
right?
Next month, September.
Already again, 22nd, huh?
22nd.
And how's your project coming? Are you going to be ready for this?
You drove it around.
I might be ready.
Driving around and being ready to make that trip are two completely.
No, they're the same thing. Haven't you watched Vice Grip Garage? Same thing.
Oh, come on. You guys are going to talk to me about making a 4,000-mile trip last minute?
Yeah, and just because you barely pulled it off last time doesn't mean that it's going
I'm just going to let you know.
You literally barely pulled it off. You got home, drove the car around the block after you got home, and it
broke. We pulled it off.
You did.
You want to leave that car in the States, I might know a place you can leave.
It's a different car this time, isn't it?
It's a different
car.
I
know, it's a different car.
Oh, but you're down for that car too. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
It's
I feel like your place
car.
Is way out of the way to get to holding the car than it is to just go back up to
Not
connect.
Really.
No.
Not really.
Not at all.
Because we're going down to Sikeston, Missouri.
Yeah, which is through here.
Which is not far.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Now you just got to hope you get back up the road to dudes if you break it.
Well, there's a specific reason why I put the LS and the 4L60 in it. Because as much as people want to hate on the LSs, they are reliable. They are inexpensive. I can stop off anywheres and get parts for it. The dudes, shush. You've been shushed. I can stop off, get parts for it, and yeah.
No, you're right. You have some good. I mean, you're far less likely to snap off a rocker arm on an LS motor than you were on your last motor.
But if I'm running on all factory components, factory computer, I can hit a junkyard, I can hit an O'Reilly's, I can hit a Pep Boys, I can get stuff anywhere.
Fair, my 2016 should be dependable in driving down the road, and it is not.
It is not. It has a no start condition.
It has a crank no start condition.
What is it? This is diesel though.
I mean, yeah, but still, it's your assumption of reliability is the
car ownership is a scam. Nothing is reliable ever.
That's the shirt for dudes with wrenches. Car ownership is a scam. Dudes with wrenches here. Do the thing. Public PSAs, right there it is.
He decides he's going to sell off everything he's got, and now cars are a scam.
See, you know what? You want to talk about scams? Here it is. We'll talk about this. No.
Well, you get back here.
Come back here and take this. He got out of here quickly.
He'll be back.
There he is.
Let's tell the internet we're gonna sell cars and then not actually sell any cars.
I'm working on it. I fixed one that was going to be for sale, and I just recently broke it. I can't sell it broken. That would be ungood of me.
So this is what he's doing. He keeps fixing them to sell them, and then he plays with them one last time, and then he breaks them so he can't sell them.
Yeah.
How many times have you done this since you started?
Why the Ford is not running.
Now you know exactly why the Ford is not running, because he took it on a 2-hour round trip that it should have never, 3-hour round trip that it should have never went on. And when it came back, it had lost half of the motor.
It's only
He
a couple
asked
piston
why
rings.
I do the LS swap.
Hey, that motor was smoking before it left, and now it's just smoking more.
Which makes it even worse. You should have never taken it on it.
It needed nothing to get home. Just a lower speed limit and a little bit of limping. And the one tire is definitely trying to fall off consequently. Just not
and a lot of, well, don't mind the smoking and that smell. It's fine.
Yeah, it was nauseating. It was pretty bad. I had a bad headache afterwards.
Yeah, nice. Well, when you take grease from like a wheel bearing and then just superheat it, it makes a cool off gassing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then when the wheel bearing gets all cattywomp and your front wheel drum breaks and those drum brakes fall apart inside the drum, and you definitely know that because they're making bad noises.
Brand new drum brakes because you just rebuilt them. You just rebuilt them.
I mean, because
you're going to sell this car because you're going to sell it.
They're
Shop Cat, what's up, brother? Welcome to the shit show.
Impressive, dudes.
But I do daily drive a Camaro that's going to get me arrested if I keep driving it. But hey,
it's not even the worst part of daily driving that Camaro that I give you a hard time about every time I talk to you.
I mean, it's insured in good faith.
No, it's not. It's not even insured in good faith.
I think about it every once in a while.
You think about it every single day. He tells me something about this car. I at least once in the conversation ask him if it's insured yet.
I mean, it's fine.
There will be when it goes badly, there's just going to be a big glowing neon sign pointed at me with me saying, "I told you so."
Well, you know what? You just put that big window sticker in it, dudes. You know, the banner size style that says no insurance.
It just says we die like men.
Yeah. People just get
it. I'm buying it.
You're just spitting t-shirt designs out right now.
We die like
dudes with wrenches here. Screw insurance. We die like men.
Dudes with wrenches here. Just try to live my life.
Stop trying to make me live my life.
You can't tell me what to do.
Trying to live my life, bro.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Trying to live my life, bro.
There's some sort of new insurance scam in Virginia. All of our insurance rates have gone up.
Hell yeah,
They added
Shopcat. You are a
something,
brave man moving right now in this economy.
Especially with the interest rates up here. Oh yeah,
That's what I'm saying. What are interest rates up there? I forget that's different than America.
It's probably very similar, but I think a mortgage, if you're getting on the low end, it's about 5.7.
Okay, so that's similar to here.
And on the high end, you're looking at about 6.5 on a 5-year fixed.
Oh, they're up over 7.
5-year fixed?
5-year fixed.
What?
Wow. We don't go that low. 15 is about as low as you go where they start, where the interest rate. You can get a 5-year, but the interest rate doesn't get any better between a 15 and a 5.
No, up here, the 5-year fixed is typically the best interest rate.
We're talking about a car.
Yeah, that makes. That's talking about a house.
No, I'm talking about a house.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah,
Kanakistan, so you can buy a house up there for like 35,000 Canadian.
Well, not here.
Well, not there, but you go far enough into the middle of freaking nowhere.
So I get these mortgage people that call me all the time because I refinanced a couple years back, and they'll somehow I always get on the rotation. They'll call me, "Are you doing better than a 5.8 on a 30-year?" And my response is always like 2.8 on a 15. Don't worry about it. And then they just hang up.
Yeah, I wish.
So many people that call you. I don't get people that call
me. What they do here is the longer the term, the more interest they'll put on it.
Oh yeah, that's the same thing.
Yeah, I guess
big time. So if we even had, I think like a 10 years, the longest term we can go.
Really? Because that would fix our housing problem here.
It really wouldn't hurt it. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's people out there trying to go farther than a 30 at this point. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
No. We can go like we can do a 30-year mortgage, but it renews every 10 years is the maximum you can go.
What do you mean it return? What do you mean it renews every 10
New
years?
interest rate? You can't get a fixed interest rate for 30 years?
Oh.
That would fix our problem too.
Well.
Yeah. You'd have a lot more houses on the market due to foreclosure.
And that's what we're going to run up against pretty quick. Because a lot of people up here, they finance their house and they kind of overbought.
Yeah. And then the interest rate changes.
But they lock it in for 5 years. Well, that 5-year period is coming up.
So this makes more sense when he says 5 and 10 years.
Yeah.
Fox, you had me at Swayze.
Yeah. Oh,
it feels like you'd want to go 10 with that. If you're overbuying, it feels like you'd want to do the fixed.
Well,
10.
the problem is like if you go to the 10-year, like at a 5-year fix, you might at the time you were looking at maybe 3.5%. If you went to the 10-year, you'd be looking at 6%.
Yeah, because you're getting it either way.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out if you're going to get it up front or get it after the 5 years.
You'd have 10 years to start making more money so that when that 10-year runs out, if it goes up, you're good.
Yeah.
Because there's no guarantee it's going to go up.
You're making $1,000 more a month payment on your mortgage than if you were down at 3.5% rate on some places. So you're like, I'll do it 3.5%. Thanks. I'll take my chances.
I like my 2.8.
Yeah, no, I'd love to have a 2.8. That'd be great.
Yeah, I've been seeing the memes going around where it's like, so I can never move from this house ever. Like 2.2%. We're never moving ever.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. That just goes back to I'm on a 2.8 for 15 and I'll be paid off in 9. So
yeah. Nice.
I paid the one off in Washington in 10 years. I did a 15 and then paid it down.
Now, the one I don't care for that is the bigger scam is my property tax has gone up $145,000. That's the value of my house has gone up $145,000 since I have owned it. And I have done nothing but park cars in the yard and kill the grass since I moved in.
But that's inflation.
You got everything you can to devalue it.
And your house is actually worth more than they're saying it's taxed for.
Well, here's the other thing that they do when you refinance up here, possibly, is if you change your mortgage lender and you go to a new lender, then they come out and they assess the property, then they file that with the county, and then they say, hey, that
Yeah, they do
house
that
that
here,
was
too.
400,000 is now 600,000. So then your taxes go up.
So they have this insurance when you get an escrow and you get a bank loan that's above what they dictate
Don't even
is
get me started.
enough
Escrow
equity.
is a freaking
Yes.
scam on its
So
own.
then you pay $100 a month for this insurance for the bank. So if you don't pay your loan, they have insurance to cover the difference. But if you pay down the loan, you can get that insurance removed. So it also changes if your house's value goes higher than what you borrowed. Now you can get it removed based on the house value is now higher than what you originally borrowed. So now,
Yes, because you're not a bad investment anymore.
Yes.
You've now become a better
Right. So
investment.
now you pay your $100 a month, and they say, "Well, you're gonna have your house assessed." Well, the city says my house is worth more than what I borrowed. No, we're gonna have to send our own assessor out, and
Yes,
that
because
costs $400.
and he's going to say it's worth less than the city because
And he did,
it's-
but
yeah,
it was
because-
still enough to get it removed from my bank.
Jesus, dude,
Everybody got
money.
their money though. Except you.
Yes, they
Yes, except you, the end user, the consumer.
Between the assessor to come out and the months I paid for that insurance, I probably paid $1,800. That's just gone. It didn't go anywhere.
Money. Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me.
Well, that's the exact situation I'm in because I'm just renewing the mortgage, and so now the assessor has to come out, got to pay them, but that might be refundable if the assessment turns out decent.
Well, yeah, right now there's no point in paying down a 2.8% interest
Nope.
because you're better to have that money and save the money for another purchase than it is to get out from underneath that money because you can't ever borrow money at that rate right now. Anytime
Right.
soon.
I'm paying it down just because I would like to move out of said house and rent it at 100% profit to pay for the next thing I'm building.
Well, yeah, but you got to watch out that because once you start renting it at 100% profit, you're going to get taxed at all of the bend over and take it tax.
Yeah, but now here's a question I have for you on that. How does it work down there? Can you once it's no longer your primary residence and you go into renting it, can you reevaluate the value?
You cannot
at
legally rent it and not classify it as your primary residence without changing the loan agreement.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you do that, can you say, okay, now that I start renting it, the house is worth this much at this point where I start renting it. So any capital gains I'm going to pay on the house is at that point, not the point at which I bought it.
Yeah, I don't know. They're probably going to take you for the higher number.
Well,
because up here, that's how it works. You document when you stop living in it and start renting it, and you get an assessment done at that point, and they value the house at that. And anytime and then the house goes up in value, well, it only goes up from the point where you got the assessment done, not from the point where you bought the house. So you're only ever going to pay capital gains on the point. Now, I'm sure they're going to try to change that because they're
the trick with that is you just go move back into the place for a year before.
Well, and so this is a bigger scam that I've actually read a bunch on. So because of how lending is done and everything we just talked about with rental and interest rates being higher, it's the big scam right now is Airbnb, because you can classify it as your primary residence and use it as an Airbnb and get away with a ton of stuff without any of the negative sides of the loan being a certain way, et cetera, et cetera. And you have a lot of people that are scamming that.
A lot of cities are making it to where Airbnbs can't be used because of that whole thing, because they're not getting their comeuppance. They're not getting their. They're not getting their.
A lot of the lenders. That's where they put it in a sublet clause, right?
Yeah,
you can't sublease it or sublet.
Well, I can tell you that Navy Federal does not care about that, because I literally got a second mortgage for a second house and used the money that I make from the other one that I own through them with a lease and showed them the rental income I make so they could justify them giving me more loan. And they were like, "Oh yeah, no, that's fine. We don't."
There's a maximum loan amount. They looked at me and told me that I could borrow like $800,000 at one point, and I'm like, "No, I can't afford that. No. As long as I don't want to eat or like have lights."
Yeah. I want to have this giant house that I can never turn on anything in.
Exactly. It's walls. I can't heat this thing, but whatever.
Yeah, so I own a house in Maryland and I rent that house in Maryland. I have to pay income taxes on the money I make in Maryland,
Yeah.
in Oregon and Maryland. I pay
Yeah.
income taxes twice on the same money.
That's not new.
That's crazy.
That is ridiculous.
My wife works in Nebraska. We live in Iowa. She has to pay taxes in Nebraska and in Iowa for working in Nebraska every year.
So you're paying, but that's paying taxes twice.
Mhm.
We literally
You choose to live in the state that you're not working in.
we literally started this country on the idea of not being taxed like that.
Isn't that the irony of it all?
I guess we better start throwing some tea in the water.
Oh my God. Yeah. Fortunately, it's not a whole lot, but I'm not very stoked about it.
Oh,
But
I mean, I looked at some
Maryland's-
people live in insanely expensive houses in my area, and I do the math on just basic what it costs to heat and cool it, taxes, etc., insurance, and it's like they have to earn like $12,000 to $13,000 a year just to afford to keep living in their house.
Oh, just with my two properties this year, I'm over $10,000 in property taxes between the two properties and insurance. Insurance is in with that number too. I think, but that is just the money that goes out to keep them doing their thing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and everyone wants their
Make
piece.
that free money.
It's not free. It's never free. That's
And
the trick.
well, there you go, everyone. There's the biggest scam out there.
Housing, cars,
Housing,
government.
Government.
Food.
I think we did. We have really
You can
covered.
grow your
all-
own food. It's a scam.
You can
Cigarettes.
grow your own food.
No, I can't grow my own food. I know I can't grow my own food.
You can grow crickets. You can eat bugs, man.
How do you grow crickets? Wouldn't you harvest
set up a little
them?
box
Turkey
and
farm.
just let them. Yeah, like an
Turkey
ant farm.
You
You
know,
can fish. You can do tanks of fish and just eat the fish.
Oh, so our fair is
Ah,
going
yeah.
on right now. We went to the fair yesterday, and they had a lot of things they're showing at the fair. And one was it was a rooster hut, which I was like, we've missed an opportunity in naming this, but okay. And in the rooster hut were the biggest pigeons I have ever seen. There was a set of pigeons in there that were the size of
Not
chickens.
roosters.
Like it was.
So we're just gonna eat pigeons now.
I feel like in
I
that
feel like
city,
you can breed them quick enough.
if you could, there's a lot of meat on that. I mean, these were freaking size of a basketball or bigger. You know what I mean? Like,
All the genetically modified
trying to figure
chickens,
out
you
why
can let them
you
grow
got
big
chickens
enough, they fall forward.
yeah, these were monsters, dude.
Like
Did you
the
just say the genetically modified chickens, you let them grow big enough, they fall forward?
Yeah, their breasts actually get
Breasts.
too large and they
Yeah.
fall out of balance.
Hmm.
Yeah, breast meat isn't that big, man. I mean, you look at a breast and you're like, this came off a chicken? No, that's a genetically modified chicken.
No, they do not like it when you play at their own game, insurance companies and lending. I've been saying for years, I want to be a bank when I grow up. That's what I want.
I don't know anybody that is possibly loan sharking money to lots of people all the time for interest. And
there's
There's
There's a
legalized
difference-
loan sharking
there's a
and
difference
not legal
between-
loan sharking.
well, that's why they call it banking and loan sharking. We have
it's
two
the
different.
same.
It is the same. The only difference is you didn't pay someone their
One's
whore
legal.
fee. Yes, because somebody paid their whore fee.
Well,
That's
it's
correct.
just like a scam that we all agreed on.
Yeah, I hate insurance because they literally their job is to not pay you. Like anyone that works for the company is wow. That's where she sits, huh? Just that she sat in the right spot and had her head the right way. It might just look like a really long beard. Like if she
Just nuzzles up, eh? there we go. Start grooming.
she gets the things you lose, and Jesus, she's getting in there deep, right?
It's like, oh, that feels
The
good.
sad part is she'll put her fang out and she'll catch you with the fang, and then she'll cut your face.
She'll cut you in the face with her fang.
Yep.
There's a lot to unpack from that whole statement right there.
Vampire.
Legalized scam. Well, I mean, that is the thing, Shopcat. The only way you stay rich is by getting more money from poor people. It's standard scamming. Well, it's like look at the writers' strike or whatever going on right now with all
paid
of
just insane amounts of money, and we think AI is doing a better job than us, so we need more money.
It's actually even better than that. It's not even that they need more money. It's that everyone went to streaming and they said, hey, you know all those things we have for residuals and everything in place for TV? Well, we don't have that for streaming, therefore it just doesn't exist. So we're not going to pay you anymore.
Well, that happened the same thing to the music industry when you start talking about streaming audio.
Yeah.
You're not making residuals off selling albums because there is no albums anymore. Nobody puts out an album.
Well, and then there's this thing called YouTube.
But they are making residuals from YouTube and still airplay. And the music industry is actually heavily invested in YouTube. The only reason YouTube got to stay a thing is because Google bought it and made a deal with the recording age, people that were suing the shit out of YouTube because of the copyright issues. So Google said, "Hey, go away with your lawsuits, and we'll let you buy some of the company." And then this all just kind of works itself out. And they said, "Yeah, you're right," and that's how we got here.
Well, but the nice thing about YouTube is you have your writers, your actors, your editors, everyone plays that role. Yes, I still talk with my hands, dude. Just get over with it.
I am all about talking with hands. I do it too. So don't listen to him, mongrels. You do you.
Yeah.
You're supposed to.
Yeah. But the
It's
simple fact that most of these creators, they do all the work themselves. They've scripted it, they've acted it.
Well, it does show you the fact that people are watching that in droves. So why do we need really expensive, overpaid people to write, direct, and act?
Well, I can tell you why, because I can tell you how affected my life has been by these strikes and the major changes, and I've noticed.
I will say this:
in my lifestyle.
I think it was in like 2012. They had this happen before. It isn't the first time they've gone on strike like this, and it ruined a lot of really good shows.
They haven't gone on strike like this since the 60s.
No, that's a lie, because there was a strike where they all went on strike and they literally
canceled the writers.
Shows.
Yes, that was the Writers Guild.
Okay.
Well, the simple fact, I'm gonna
join in.
I'm going to boil it down right now why YouTube's more successful, in my personal opinion.
Than Hollywood?
It's becoming more successful, yes. When you look at the sheer amount of views on YouTube compared to...
Well, but that's the problem. The sheer amount of views are skewed by bots. Like, no one is saying that bots aren't a thing on YouTube.
Well, let him make his point.
Sorry.
But the point is if we don't develop content that people want to watch, they don't watch it. We get nothing.
It doesn't matter if you develop content that people want to watch. If the YouTube overlords or Netflix or whoever is in charge of it don't show it to people, it's useless. It's worthless.
Well, that's the second part of it, sure. But the simple fact of the matter is if I want to watch a side-by-side video racing down a road, I go watch your video.
Yeah.
If I want to watch someone lecture me about whatever life choices they want to lecture me about, I'm going to leave that channel. And then when they say, I've left that channel and it's my fault, I'm going to just flip up the middle finger and say...
So if YouTube puts on the next video for you every single time of that video you don't want to watch, you're going to end up watching it at some point. If every time you go to you want to watch my video, you watch my video, and then up next it shows you that video you don't want to watch, you're like, I don't want to go there. And you go watch another video, and it keeps taking you to that thing they want you to watch. Sooner or later, you're going to watch that thing they want you to watch, because it's YouTube's like that.
That's not exactly
at
true.
least
dude, YouTube is that creepy dude in the corner with a roofie. One way or another, he's getting it tonight.
I had a video that they have been showing me on my feed for months now, and today I said, screw you, YouTube. I do not want to watch this anymore. There's a little button right there where you can click on it and say, stop showing me this.
Yeah, really?
And I clicked it and said, stop showing me this. It's gone.
So many
I did it
do
because I'm tired of seeing this stupid thing. It was some stupid video of where this the thumbnail is finally monetized. See how much I made in a month. Like, I don't want to see that.
Oh my god!
I know what
YouTube
paid
that is. Yeah, that's YouTube just saying, well, you're a small YouTuber and you obviously want to know this, so go watch the.
Don't. Yeah. But I mean, it's been there for months. I'm not subscribed to the channel, nothing. It has been there for months, and I'm like, no.
But that's my point. That's my point exactly. YouTube is pressing that agenda for whatever the reason is, and if you want to get in on some of that advertising, we're going to call it advertising now. Just pay us, and we'll advertise your stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. Well, for sure. Yeah.
It's I don't know. I watched a video this week of a guy talking about essentially that scam that they're running that we've talked about a couple of times on here. Pay to promote your channel to the people that promote. Yeah. And it's indicative that if they are now, because Google and YouTube have been exploiting advertisers for their money for a while now. We've all known that. That's why we're here. We're in here getting in on some of that sweet ad money. And now the advertisers have learned that they have been getting scammed, and they're trying to get the money from us now. We are now the demographic they are farming for money.
But it's not just them that got scammed. It's also the content creators are getting scammed. We just put up with it.
Yes. Well, we signed up for it. What are you talking about? We signed the terms and conditions and said 45% is freaking enough for us.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about, hey, I'm not even monetized yet, and you're still making money off of me.
That I did not like.
Nobody agreed to that.
That one was dirty. Like, I didn't mind when they didn't make any money off of my stuff. And I was just like, okay, that's fine. But
I can imagine the profits they made when that one thing was changed. It was like, we're going to profit off everything.
Then the next thing that they did that was dirty is they took those channels that were trying to come up, and they said, hey, you know what? We're going to stick commercials on your content, even though you're not monetized.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Because
you got to figure how much money did that boost their revenue? Yeah. Like you were saying, that's just all of a sudden one day they just we'll say a third more advertising revenue, all just like that. You think I was being conservative, but
there was.
But that goes back to start your own YouTube and your own video hosting website. And
you can Floatplane, Linus up there in old Kanakistan has started it, and you've got Rumble, and there's a bunch of other ones out there.
There's stuff you can do,
but at the end of the day, it's the same problem. You're going to have a people at the top that control the thing, and they will be corrupted by money because that's what always happens.
That's why you want to be the guy at the top, so you can have all that money that's corrupting you.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean,
until your place in the pyramid has been replaced.
Well, if you ever get a chance, until your place in the pyramid, I love that one. If you ever get a chance, there is a documentary I watched about YouTube and how it started. 3 dudes from the shakeup at PayPal, when PayPal did its thing. That's how YouTube was created. These guys started it, and then they started it as a kind of social media type thing, and they were running ads in San Francisco for hot chicks to make profiles, and we will pay you $20 to just go use our freaking site so we can sell it to people. They did that from the
one of the biggest events that pushed YouTube, like made it a bigger deal than what it ever was before?
No.
The nipple slip of Miss Jackson.
Really?
Yep. Because everybody couldn't find the video because they cut it, and it was only on whatever channel was on Fox.
That happened
2004.
That's what I'm saying. YouTube came out
2005, didn't it?
5 or 6 or something. I thought the nip slip was before YouTube.
They actually talk about that in the documentary about that's what actually made YouTube. 2004. February 1st, 2004. They said it was a huge influx. Like all the videos that would show it were a big deal.
So when did YouTube start? Because I feel like
I think it was in 2005.
I want to say 6 is the number I have in my head. So we're going to find out right now.
It does not say.
I thought you said we're going with these nuts joke right there. Oh, Dancing says 05.
February 14, 2005.
I didn't demonetize anyone else. So then the nip slip
was the documentary. It was a year ahead of it.
It's still before.
Still a year. But there was people that wanted to see that thing.
Well, of course, there's going to be
people. So I'm guessing it was one of those things that after a year, everybody was like, I remember that, but we never got to see it. And then once YouTube started, that was one of the first things that blew it up.
So you're telling me porn blew up YouTube?
Yeah.
Ah,
She was wearing a sticky, man. It was
shocking. Yeah, exactly. Wow. And you're telling me that same tried and true concept still works to this day. Weird. Well, I guess it doesn't if you're a side-by-side channel with really nice videos and chicks in the front seat. That still doesn't blow up. Dude's found me a side-by-side channel. That should be.
I can't remember the name of it. It should be like millions of subscribers.
He's doing all the things right, and it's not working. And I'm just like, well, good.
Dude built Hot Wheels loop-de-loops and ran side-by-sides that were lifted with bright neon lights and hot chicks in them, and no views.
Well, you know what? A lot of the stuff that has come after has just followed that recipe, and Danson kind of touched on it here. It's the soft porn, we'll call it, that starts the channel, and then you can evolve it from there.
Well, once it realizes that everyone wants to see you, I guess. We've had some talks about this, like Whistling Diesel and people. Once you get to a certain size, you can kind of like your influence will push the algorithm. What you tell people to do will make the algorithm kind of jumpstart. And I don't think they like that.
Oh no, they don't like you breaking the algorithm because you're doing it without their influence or their control.
Jesus, Dean. I have to read Dean's stuff in my head before I read it out loud.
Oh, yes, you do. Because otherwise we will do what exactly he is saying is I'm going to get someone demonetized.
I always give dudes a hard time when he reads them before he says it. I'm just like, just read the thing. But you're not wrong. Soft, medium, soft, hard. Is that? I think any combination there.
No, I usually like it only one way.
Yeah, it works better that way.
You haven't done it until you've got hard, medium, soft, hard, soft. Trust me, it's a whole roller coaster.
We're not going to talk about folks.
And on that note, it's been 2 hours.
2 hours. You can tell it's been 2 hours when we have gone to that topic.
Is that what topic are you talking about?
That's what we're talking about.
Soft serve toppings. That's what that is.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this was an ice cream show, I believe, is what we talked about for the last 2 hours. Soft serve, medium serve.
This is gonna knock.
What? A diode? What is he saying?
More of a diode kind of guy.
Okay, so that is how I say that. I'm like, am I saying this right? I don't get the reference. You have some serious cat ass going on right now.
Yeah, she needs to get off my desk.
Diode is small and one directional. I don't know.
I'm trying to get the reference here. Is there some sort of weird reference that I'm not getting here?
Yeah, just don't.
I've been accused of being a little slow here and there, but that one I feel like I'm a milkshake show. Oh,
works one way. Yeah.
Oh, real one-way street kind of guy. Okay. Well, as always, I appreciate everyone coming out tonight, guys. I appreciate you guys showing up on these Fridays and listening to us talk about just the weirdest type of things. If you guys have a topic for a show or anything you'd love to hear us ramble on about, let us know. Put it in a comment on one of these videos. We read all the comments, and if it's a good one, we'll talk about it. Okay. I read all of the comments.
I don't read any of those comments.
That's not true, because if it's a good one, I'll be like, you need to go read the comments. I'll tell you about it if there's like some good stuff in there. Like Tenacious, a medium pace. I thought Tenacious D didn't say medium pace. That was Adam Sandler and the shampoo bottle at a medium pace. Was it not? No? Okay.
I think you're done.